Refrain. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Wassalatu wassalamu ala Rasulillah wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. We welcome all of you to another edition of the Black Imams Roundtable. I am your lowly servant, Amin Muhammad, and to my right is the Imam of the Boombat, Faheem Lee, and coming up soon with an additional $40 door fee is the late Imam Genius, Naim Abdullah, who said he would be late, but that's not an excuse. Still got to pay up chunky. So tonight, inshallah, what we're going to do is we're going to give some advices that we deem most important or significant. So before we start, we want to remind everyone of the recommended donation that we ask for everyone every week to keep these programs going and the work that we're trying to do in a da'wah of a $10 cover charge. And for those who are in a much better position, as much as you wish to donate to keep a successful initiative going, we would appreciate your support and your assistance. Is it up there? Oh. I wanted to start with my open remarks, because I think when we say advices, I think we should think about the most important advice. And for me, the most important advice that I would like to give us is performing our obligations and refraining from the prohibitions, right? I think this is something that is not emphasized enough in our discourse. We talk about a lot of supererogatory activities, but we don't highlight the importance of fulfilling the obligations. Hey, what are you doing? This guy. I'm sorry, I'm still on baby duty. Right? So we don't highlight enough of the obligation. But we always talk about things that religiously, according to the judgment of the sacred law, are really recommended or permissible matters. But the emphasis on the obligatory knowledge, the things that we must do, and those things that we must refrain from are not emphasized enough. And the ulama, the scholars, they talk about this issue and how important it is. And one of the things that they quote is the hadith of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, which is the hadith of wilaya. How do we reach those high levels of piety? And it is the hadith in which the Prophet ﷺ related from Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala, in which Allah said that whoever has enmity to a wali of mine, I will declare war on him. And the servant does not draw closer to Allah, and we mean by status, because Allah exists without a place. So we're not talking about distance and direction and location. The servant will draw closer to me with nothing more beloved to me than that which I made obligatory upon him, right? So that is the essence of everything we must do, is fulfilling the obligations. And some of the ulama, they mention that whoever gets occupied with the obligations to the extent that they cannot do the optional deeds, they are excused. Religiously, they are excused because they're fulfilling obligations and they're so engaged in that they can't do optional deeds. However, the one who is occupied with the optional deeds and neglecting the obligations, that person is deluded, meaning that person is sinful. So, as an advice for all of us, I want to remind us of the importance of learning and fulfilling our obligations. And when I say obligations, I mean everything that Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala and His Messenger Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam deemed or legislated as an obligation, whether that be in terms of beliefs, in terms of statements, in terms of actions, or in terms of spiritual states or states of the individual. All of those, whatever is obligatory upon that, we need to learn it and implement it in our lives. So for me, that is an advice that I would like to see all of us be reminded of and remind each other of it, right? Fulfill your obligations. Refrain from the prohibitions. And that is the basis of Ashabul Yameen, the people of the right, that they are the common believers. They fulfill the obligations, they refrain from the prohibition. At least if all of us are at that state, may Allah make it so, we're all going to be winners on the day of judgment. So that is my opening statement. And inshallah, I'll expound some more on it after my beloved Imams have their say. Naam, Sayyidi.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh to everyone joining. Alhamdulillah, we appreciate you tuning in tonight. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept it. Amin. Bismillah wa salatu wa salamu ala rasulihi wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Wa man tabi'ahum bi ihsani ila yawm ad-din. Wa ba'd. What up, Trey 45 Trey family? You know what I mean? This is your host with the most from coast to coast. The Imam of the boom bap. It means just that, you know what I mean? And today, tonight, we like to have a little, for our friends and enemies, we like to have a little fireside chat without too many sparks being tossed around, So, we family, it's all love here. So tonight's topic is basically an off the cuff chat and, just advice that we think is important. And in addition to what our beloved Sheikh said, Imam Amin, I think one of the things that's very important is that, in the midst of this COVID pandemic, you all notice we really didn't talk about it too much because there are very, varying views about it, but, I had it, Imam Amin contracted it, many Muslims that we know also contracted it. There's a lot of technicalities with respect to the pandemic. But I think one of the general advices that I will have tonight is that we're going to have to work extremely harder to make sure we start building the bonds of brotherhood and sisterhood even stronger, And as you all know, Facebook is taking this new format. Everyone knows that the name change is going on. It's called Meta something. And it's like this going to give you this whole virtual experience, And I didn't read all the particulars, but it's almost like it's going to give you more an opportunity to be escaping from reality. It's going to give you more an opportunity. It's going to give people, it's called metaverse. And it's, from what I've been reading, it's just going to give people more of an opportunity, to just be, disengaged, and disengaged from reality and attached to this social media platform, and this was one of the the reasons why we started this platform and other online teaching things, so we can keep people together in the midst of this pandemic. But we're really going to have to work harder to make sure in our respective areas that we go out of our way to show warmth and good manners to brothers and sisters in our communities, because a lot of people are still hurting. The economy is still not good. A lot of people are just kind of disengaged, and we really got to help those people. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has afforded us a tremendous blessing in the way that we are able to meet on this platform every week, meet in classes every morning, every day, twice, stuff like that. And we've had opportunities that many of us were able to meet in person. We have some upcoming events like the African Americans Muslim Summit coming up in February. So we have a lot of opportunities that we're able to meet with each other as the 3453 family. But then we have to extend this love, and we have to extend this warmth, and we have to extend this beyond people or who may not attend this group, or go reach out and follow up on people who we haven't seen sign in lately, or people we haven't heard from, or haven't attended the classes. Some of them could have contracted COVID, some of them could have gotten sick, and we should try to make a concentrated effort to check up on our people, inshallah ta'ala. So I think because they're projecting that this pandemic is going to last a little longer, and they're anticipating more variants and stuff like that. So we don't know when this thing is going to end. And although some of the restrictions have been lifted in certain places, but we still have to be aware, of course, with our health and our safety, taking precautions. But we really have to go out and reach out to people, man, because there are a lot of people hurting. A lot of people going through it. A lot of people don't know how to cope. A lot of people don't have anyone that they can talk to, and we have to be those beacons of light for those people, inshallah ta'ala. And not just waiting for someone to reach out, because a lot of people, just imagine it yourself, if you're going through something, you don't want anyone to know in the real sense, you don't want to pour your heart out to people because you don't know, if they're going to use it against you, or, spread your personal information, or all types of things go on, and so we have to go and, spread sincere love and genuine concern for our brothers and sisters in Islam, to make us stronger, inshallah ta'ala, and alhamdulillah for this platform, because we met some remarkable people, we engage with some remarkable people every single week, every single day, every single event. And it's a beautiful thing, to get this kind of feeling online that, many of us, we may be deprived of it in our real communities. You know what I'm saying? So, inshallah, let's just make a concentrated effort to show, to spread the love that we get here, spread it to other people who are going to need it, and because this community effort is going to carry us over, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has blessed us that we're able to learn correct knowledge. We're able to have access to, great teachers, great instructors. We have a whole array of things that help us out. So we just got to really make those bonds strong, inshallah ta'ala. So that's going to be my open remarks. And, so the jeans has arrived right on time as usual. It's always great, never late, That's just how he roll. Alhamdulillah. That's why we got him on board. You know what I mean? That's why he our little young boy. When your young boy outshine you, you know what I mean? You guys be like, go ahead, young boy, because you're mad because he outshone you, but you're happy at the same time. So without any further delay, my esteemed Imam Naeem.
Allahu Akbar. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
Alhamdulillah.
Before you start, please, $50.
Hey, I gave you notice.
He gave you notice, Otis.
Mr. I don't want to hear that. You late.
Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen wa afdalu salatu wa atamu taslim ala Sayyidina Muhammad wa radiyallahu ta'ala an sadat al-tabi'in wa ulama al-amalin wa a'immatul arba'at al-mujtahidin wa muqallidihim ila yawmiddin. Amma ba'd. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, everyone. Alhamdulillah, glad to be joining you. And Samira, you've been acting real funny lately, man. Talking about pay up. You're supposed to be on my side, man. You want me to talk about pay up? You're supposed to be ride with me. SubhanAllah. What kind of wife are you, man? You switching sides? Alhamdulillah. Man, my opening advice that I want to touch on is, in a way, it's kind of related to what Imam Amin mentioned about learning the individual obligations. And really, if you were really paying attention to what he said, he mentioned, because a lot of times when we think of Fard al-Ain or the individual obligations, we think of those things like ibadat, that we do it all the time, like wudu, or the prerequisites of salat, or some aspect of salat, fasting, or something like that. But there are also aspects of Islamic knowledge that is obligatory upon us because of the state, as he said, or the situation that we find ourselves in. A lot of us are married, or we want to get married, but we don't know anything about marriage. And this is what I'm finding with a lot of us. A lot of us don't know anything about Islamic marriage. And many times, a lot of us find ourselves in marriages that may not be valid or may be borderline, is iffy, because we didn't learn about knowledge, about we didn't learn the basics or the bare minimum of what we needed to know with regards to the institution of marriage, and this includes divorce. And so, my advice that I want to give to all of us is that we need to take a basic class, and a lot of our basic books include basics about marriage. Like in the Maliki school, the Izziya, which is kind of a basic level Islamic text in the Maliki school. It has a section on marriage, and it'll give you the nuts and bolts of marriage and divorce and these things. And the same thing with the Risala of Ibn Abi Zayd al-Qayrawani. And it's the same with other it's the same in other schools, right? We should take that more seriously. We should take the knowledge of that more seriously, because the ramifications of not doing so, we're seeing it all around us. Do you know, for example, how many sisters right now are married to someone that they don't want to be married to anymore, and they don't know how to get out of the marriage? They should have known how to get out of the marriage Islamically before they got into it. And there are other issues. A lot of us don't know how to enter into an Islamic marriage. So we may marry someone, and we may not Islamically be married for any number of reasons. But we marry someone, we have intercourse with that person, we have children with that person. Do you see how not having knowledge of an of Islamic marriage can lead to other sins that you can't take back? And so my advice is to encourage us to take the knowledge of marriage and everything connected to it a lot more serious, and learn it before you get into it. How many times have you all heard Imam Amin mention the chapter heading that you could find in Sahih Bukhari that is called the chapter of knowledge before action? How many times have we heard him mention that chapter heading? Well, we need to take that into consideration. So for all of us who are married or trying to get married, we need to look at nikah or zawaj or getting married as our individual obligation. And we have to learn about it before we do it, not learn about it after we do it. We have to learn before. From a technical perspective, we always want to learn the fluffy, flowery stuff. And, I like sunsets and, all this, wishy-washy, Johnny Romance stuff. But we need to learn the technical stuff first. We need to make sure that our situation, that we're right with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And so we need to take care of the technicalities first and get to the all lovey-dovey stuff afterwards. So what my advice is sort of kind of connected to what Imam Amin mentioned with regards to knowledge. I'm just restricting my advice to knowledge of nikah or knowledge of marriage. Just the basic. Just the basics. Nothing deep. Or each and every one of us, especially if you want to get married, you should be able to answer basic questions. And you need to know about divorce. Don't use the mentality, like as I heard someone say a long time ago, my wife will remember that, I don't need to learn about the talaqs or divorce because I don't plan on getting a divorce. They actually said that. Well, you need to know for many reasons because number one, you want to make sure that the one you married, especially if you're a man and you're marrying a woman, you want to make sure that she's still not married to her last husband. And I'm not even talking about married by the state. I'm talking about married Islamically. So you want to make sure you're not marrying a married woman because your marriage would be invalid. And like I said, on many occasions, it's too many times that, a couple realize they don't want to be together anymore and they just move out of the house from each other. He lives over there and she goes to live over there. And, they say, okay, we're not together no more. We're not married. But you haven't been divorced Islamically. You're still married, even though in your mind you're not married. And so we need to know these things before we get into them. And this includes the issue of, a wali, who has the most right to be the wali, and all of these things. A lot of you sisters listening right here, you don't have no wali. You wait till the last minute till you find someone, then you try to just hurry up and find someone to be your wali. You're doing it wrong. If you don't have anyone in your family that can be your wali, you need to get with an imam and have him be your wali or have him appoint someone to be your wali. All of these things are connected together. Since most of us are adults and we're trying to get married, so don't disconnect in your mind. I know when we think about marriage, we think about love and intercourse and all that kind of stuff, but we're not talking about that right now. That'll come later. We're talking about what you need to know as an obligation before you do it, meaning marriage in this case. And a lot of us just get into marriage and not know what to do or how to do it, or we are actually, living in a state of sin, and we wonder why the barakah or the blessings are not coming in our marriage because we're doing it wrong, and we don't have enough knowledge to even know that we're doing it wrong. So we need to do it right, and that comes with knowledge. So that's my introductory remarks.
Mashallah. I wanted to ask both of y'all, right? What made y'all pick the subject that you thought was important to give advice? What was it that say, okay, this is the thing I think we need to advise, or I need to advise the people about? What was it? And I'll answer for myself. For me, is reflecting on our condition. in our communities, right? if we don't start learning our obligations, we're going to have generational Islamic illiteracy for the next 50, 60 years. And if the current push continues, we're going to see an Islam that eventually is not Islam at all, right? Where people do what they want, not what Allah ordered them to do, or what the Tabarak wa Ta'ala ordered them to do, what the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam ordered them to do. And if we look at the common state of Islamic education, it is sad where we've come to, even though we have big numbers. So there's a lot of Muslims, and we're just satisfied with saying a Muslim. That's it. As for the realities of the Deen, it's absent. To the point that if you look at our lives are filled with things that contradict the sacred law, right? As a norm, right? To the point that we, in our outward practice, resemble Christians, where the Christians just have, I go to church on Sunday, I may go to Bible study sometimes, but religion is really not a part of my life. I'm talking about the average Christian. I'm not talking about every single Christian, but the average Christian that we come across, that's how it is. And it's even like that in the Jewish tradition. And Muslims were always known as people of adherence to their deen, right? So where now people don't see Muslims different from the kuffar in practice, right? The same things that non-Muslims are doing, you find Muslims do it without shame. I'm not talking about people falling into sins. I'm talking about falling into sins, neglecting obligations with no shame about it. As if, hey, what? This is what I do. Like, that's just what you do? You just disobey Allah, right? Yeah, that's what I do. And I think we need to work on that. So the only step to do that is by learning our obligations and give it its priority in our lives, right? Sheikh Abdullah Aziz was asking me something this morning. We were studying this morning. If any of you read Arabic, this is a beautiful book to get. I don't know if you can see it because it's black. It's called At-Taqarrub, right? At-Taqarrub ila Allah Ta'ala, right? At-Taqarrub ila Allah Ta'ala. It was written by a scholar from Syria, Sheikh Abdullah Sirajuddin. In this book, he talks about obligations. So we're studying this book, right? And he mentioned in this book that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وَمَا قَلَقْتُ الْجِنَّ وَالْإِنسَ إِلَّا لِيَعْبُدُونَ. I only created the jinn and the humans to order them with worship, right? In other words, that's why we're here, to fulfill obligations and refrain from prohibitions. Allah tabarak wa ta'ala created us for that. That is the right of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala upon us. And when it reaches the point that that is something negotiable, right? That's negotiable. I don't have to do my obligations, right? That's an issue that we got to fix. When the Islamic Deen was strong, you had the ruler in every madhab. I'll give you an example. You have people who don't pray, who don't pay zakat. They just don't do it. And these are like pillars of the deen. I don't make salah. I don't pay zakat. And you'll notice that these two are mentioned. Establish the prayer and pay the zakat. But how many people just neglect them with no consequence? Now let's look at this from the side of the sacred law. In every madhab, Hanbali school, Shafi'i school, Maliki school, Hanafi school, right? And we could go the other way, Hanafi, Maliki, Shafi'i, Hanbali. Or we can be real, Shafi'i, Hanbali, Maliki, Hanafi. Right? Gotta have a little fun, right? But in every school, there's punishment for leaving off prayer and not paying zakat. Prescribed legal punishment. If you don't pray, there is a punishment for that legally in an Islamic society. If you don't pay zakat, there is a punishment legally for not doing that, right? But we live in a time where people just don't do it. And there's nothing you can do about it except that you educate people how important it is and the severity of neglecting that obligation. And the reward of performing it, not just the sin. Like if you pray, this is a reward for that. If you leave off the haram, there's a reward for that, right? So I think this, in terms of the obligations, become extremely important. And I would like to see more of that, inshallah, from us. Like just the essential books, like Imam Naim so eloquently mentioned in the Maliki school. He mentioned books, and those books tell you about your obligations. Al-Ashmawiyya, Al-Akhdari, the Risala of Ibn Abi Zayd, and so forth, right? And the same we have in the Shafi'i school, and the Hanbali school, and the Maliki, and the Hanafi school. These books tell you your obligations. But we do have this concept of leaving off madhabs, so that's one way where you don't learn your obligations, right? Because the madhabi people, they concentrate on recommended things. They don't even have a system for obligations because it's would-be ijtihad. It's would-be scholarly deduction. So there's not even a solid structure that is agreed upon among them because everyone is, doing his own thing. I think this is the reason why, for me, that I mentioned this issue. And I was just curious why y'all picked what y'all picked and for what reason, if y'all want to engage me in that.
Yeah, the reason why I picked what my general advice was about, just really building more brotherhood and sisterhood, because all of this stuff is connected, because but the knowledge part is very important. And I think that, once we build more brotherhood and sisterhood and we're comfortable with each other, people won't be so afraid to be vulnerable, because I've noticed that, in this age we living in, people don't want to feel like that they don't know anything, instead of just, mabruk, mashallah. People don't want to feel like that they don't know anything, and they think that they can just, look up everything. I've heard this all the time. People say, yeah, I'm going to look it up online. Like, you gonna look where online? Google's your only tool. What do you mean? And, and from my experience, and I know the Imams experience this as well. You have some people who are not just, mashallah, assalamu alaikum. Stop making all that noise. What? Mashallah. So a lot of people may not be committed to the I don't want to say rigidness, but what the commitment to means to learning knowledge and writing notes and reviewing and, you know, asking questions and answering questions, and they can hide behind the screen, you know. And some people, you know, they're just not going to get it. You know, they go by hearsay. You know, they're going to know, they're going to hear what they hear, and, you know, they know it. They might can't express it, you know. But at the same time, you have people who can very well be good Muslims. And, you know, it's a possibility, you know, it's possible that someone can, you know, just be a good Muslim and just be ignorant, you know what I mean? And it's not something that we should, you know, accept, but it is a reality, you know, because I met many Muslims, you know, they do everything you need them to do. They respond, they donate, but, you know, they ain't going to take the time to learn Al-Fatiha, or they're going to be, you know, and it's like to them, it's like, you know, they're comfortable and just, you know, butchering up their salat, and they won't take the time to learn it. And, you know, some of the things I've observed, it's like the people who say Arabic words wrong, you know, it's like they get more love. You know, then you correct them with a right word, you know, it's like you saying the right word wrong. You know, we always heard people say, you know, brother, Kaifa Halik, I'm Tawheed, you know. You know, you're not Allah's oneness, you know. You're Tayyib, you know, and you know, stuff like that, man. No, seriously. And but you know, people hear that and then they pick up these words, and you be like, oh man, now if I correct them, I'm gonna seem like I'm the bully. But you just cannot say this word like that. That's not the word. You know, but these people are very sweet, kind-hearted, and generous, and, you know, dependable. They're just not going to take the time, you know. So, you know, of course, we have a lot of work to do in getting, you know, extracting those good people out, and the ones who are committed to learning, you know, put it in, you know, because all the stuff is related to each other. Then the other thing, yeah, astaghfirullah. People say astaghfirullah, you know, and I remember this one brother, man. I was he used to always say, my Akis. He said, how's my Akis doing? Man, you know, and then, you know, as Imam Naeem was mentioning with marriage, you know, one of the things about marriage, you know, because we don't have a good community that has sound principles of learning and knowing their deen and interacting with each other. You know, we're getting people that's coming out of left field, you know, looking to get married, not knowing their rights and obligations and their duties in the marriage. You know, I mean, I had a case not too long ago. It was a brother and a sister, and you know, the brother he was married to the sister, and you know, they wanted to be intimate, and she said, you know, she had just finished her menses, she had to make ghusl, you know, and he said, no, you don't. He said, no, you don't have to make ghusl. And now that's far for you to make ghusl after that. You know, like, and this is a person that, you know, let's just say he messed up Arabic words. All right. But it's just like, you know, that's stuff that, you know, we're supposed to learn in the basics in the beginning. You know, this is what our children learn. You know what I mean? So, and just with this distraction of social media, I mean, a lot of people are hiding out, you know, people are frauding, and people are dressing them, you know, being people who they're really not. You know, they ghost, what they call it, they ghosting people on here. And that is really sad, man. You know, so all of, you know, but what made me realize, because, you know, like you get people try to learn them, and then just getting them sometimes, in some instances, getting them to unlearn the stuff that they learn. You know, because now you teach somebody something, and now they checking behind you. Yeah. Well, I never read that. I mean, it's got libraries that's bigger than some cities, man. Like, what? There's a lot you haven't read. There's a lot of, you know, there's more that we don't know than we do know. You know, so yeah, because you haven't read it doesn't mean that it hasn't been read over centuries. You know what I mean? You just missed the boat. You know what I mean? And then you got to, you know, check people, and then, you know, we're in the area that we in, and the people that we, you know, the madhabi, I said, I'm saying the wrong words. You know, the people who don't follow any traditional Islam, you know, you always at odds with them, you know, and then, you know, you get a person who still hasn't taken the time to learn, you know, what is fard in the salat, what is sunnah, what is mustahab, what is makruh, you know, and all they want to know what the proof is. What's the proof of your statement? You know, this kind of stuff. Where can I find it? And you know, they wouldn't be able to find it if you bought the book for them, you know. So I mean, it's just a lot of stuff that we got to do. But our advice is really where we fall short in learning and brotherhood and marriage and communities. We just got to try to supplement it with something that's going to at least keep our hearts together. Because when our hearts together, we have a chance to work with each other and work on each other. You know, we always so that always. One of the main reasons I talk about what I talk about, because seeing people, man, you know, and then you be like, man, this is a good brother, this is a good sister. They just put forth half of an effort, you know, they can really make progress. And then they just, you know, and then, you know, like with learning, you know, you get a class, but if it's football season or basketball season, or if it's a popular artist that got in town, you can forget it. You know, and you know, the culture that we in, weekends is the best time to really get people, you know what I mean? But at Sunday at 1 o'clock, you know, and if your home team is playing, ain't nobody coming to class. And for them, you know, that's an excuse. You know, why didn't they make it? You know, because, you know, the Eagles was playing. Well, you know, they bums anyway, so you could afford to miss a class. So. But yeah, those kind of things, man. But you know, man, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala help us. I mean,
all right, wait a minute. Time for a commercial. Let me see how this go. Fly, Eagles, fly on the road to victory. Fight, fight, fight. Right?
Yeah, it sounds good enough. Yeah, the Cowboys are bums too. I mean, all of them bums.
Imam, they missing class with some bums.
Yeah, they missing class with some bums. Don't you know you could go feed the homeless and do better than just watch some bums on TV? Go downtown and get some Baraka and feed some. You want to watch them on TV, wasting time.
Like me, I'm from New York. I think the last time the Knicks won was the year I was born or something like that.
Wow.
Last time they won the championship. SubhanAllah. I'm listening to you talk. I'm trying to stop myself from laughing too much because I heard some wild stuff since I moved to Pennsylvania. I learned this new word called mu'min, right? I thought it was just because I moved to Pittsburgh first, right? I thought it was just some Pittsburgh stuff, right? Then I moved to Philadelphia and I heard the same stuff. You know, our Masjid Mu'min, right? If you listen to a lot of the elders in the community talk, they still call it Masjid Mu'min. Wow. I want to know the etymological history of the word Mu'min in Pennsylvania. Where did it come from? Who started it?
Yeah, that's a trivia question there.
Someone was confused. They didn't know if they were talking about one mu'min or a whole bunch of mu'minin, right? They said, well, I don't know. Just meet me in the middle, mu'min.
You know what? No, probably a lot of that is, and I think we all fall to it. When you're not around people who speak Arabic properly, you're going to make your own dialect and your own words, right? Now, question. You know, I'm not good in English or Arabic, so I got an English question, right? Is cause an actual word, or is just some made-up slang that's been accepted? So you say because, when people say cause. Now, you're the genius around here. Is that right? Is that an actually word, or is some slang that just got became accepted, and we just say it without?
Well, I think the way we use it.
Somebody with a master's degree on here started a sentence with cause. Cause we just be.
It's supposed to be because though.
Yeah, and they had a master's degree. So I was wondering, maybe I'm missing something here.
Not
sometimes, mispronunciation or misusage of words become so big that they just add it to the dictionary.
Right. So is that one of them or no?
I don't know. Unless it's something new, the way we be
I don't
using it.
mean cause like that. We saying don't do this because they
Right.
say don't do this cause.
Well, they wrong because they should be saying don't do this cause. It's because, not because.
Yeah, so I was wondering. Not cause and effect. They took the B off because.
See, all these smart people missing it, man. You said because.
So I'm thinking it's slang for because, like Sister Nisa saying. But people use it all the time. So I was just wondering, like I said, I don't know English well. They need, what's that say?
They need their master's or PhD revoked if they're using cause for because.
Well, I saw them do it. So Khadija says cause short for because.
Now she put the little apostrophe up there.
What does that mean? Oh, that's valid?
I don't know. Somebody look it up. I mean, they got the right to make up words. I be making up words too.
Yeah.
It's valid because they use it.
I got some words I was making up. Super baraka.
One of the words that I added to my dictionary was Ustuians.
Ustuians.
People always talk about what they used to do and how they used to be. They Ustuians.
I guarantee you, if we went down the line, everybody among us has some Arabic words that we messed up. Like I'm still saying salam alaikum sometimes. Salam alaikum,
well, at least I don't say assalamu alaikum.
No, I say salam alaikum. My wife always going off about that. What did you just say? Leave me alone. Salam alaikum.
Brother, you giving the cook bar today? No, I'm not. I'm not in the kitchen this week. No, I'm not. I'm not a chef. I'm not doing no cook bar.
And every Friday, I get on the minbar and I give Juma. So I think we all do it, You know,
one thing I heard when I moved to Philly. Philly is a master at this, right? They say, "Wallahi Deen." When I moved there, like, "Wallahi Deen, what? You swear by Allah, Deen, what? Oh, you mean Wallahi Azim? Oh, okay."
But even when you travel in the Arab world, they be making up stuff. You be like, what the heck is that? Right? But now they become a dialect. But originally, people jacking up the Arabic language. Just jacking it up. But because, excuse me, let me go on a racist bag. Because white is right, when they do it, it's fine. You jacked up the language, cutting off letters, and it's fine when you do it. But let a black man do it. Oh, he's a bad guy. All right, that was just my,
Just don't do it on the ed.
Yeah.
And we need to put a ra on back of Quba.
Right.
Quba. And my wife Samira, she's going to have a shadda on her ra for Quba.
Okay, go ahead, Imam Naeem. As we went on that language, the people on the hawk, they're really tired of us with all this sidebar stuff. Man, where's the dalil for all that junk they talking over there? Just shooting from the hip. Where's the hadith in the Quran to back all that stuff up?
Hadith spelled with a fa at the end. Hadith.
That's right.
And 2 E's.
No, alhamdulillah. to answer your question, what made me decide to talk about marriage, with regards to it, our subject matter tonight, is I'm always getting inquiries, and I'm always getting inquiries. Either somebody trying to get married, somebody trying to get divorced, somebody want counseling. Marriage is not only a hot topic, but it's something that we are actively doing, and a lot of us are actively doing it without the proper knowledge. In other words, so I feel like it's a rush situation, because even if somebody that just become Muslim, right, and they're married, or they're trying to get married right away, they need to know it, or you're going to be making a lot of mistakes. And it was kind of, I made a stat, I believe, last night. It was kind of related to that. One example of that, because a lot of people get married or try to get divorced or something with regards to marriage, and they can't explain what happened, or even they don't, like if you ask sometimes some of them about the marriage or the divorce, you can't get a straight answer. Like sometimes you want to help somebody, but they can't even explain what happened, when it happened. Like yo, like what was? How can I help you? Can you answer? Be more specific.
We should have a show just on how we jack the languages up. Language according to us. اللغات عندنا. That's funny. Oh my goodness.
So alhamdulillah, for all you people waiting for the Quran and the Hadith with a fact, right? You just gonna have to take this laughter. You just have to take it. Nah, alhamdulillah. So no, that was the reason why, because I believe it's an urgent matter, not because it's the thing that we should necessarily prioritize, but it need to be prioritized because we already doing it, and we need to do it right. And a lot of people are having these type of issues like right now in real time, and they don't have answers. But we have to get to the point where we have the knowledge first, but it's already too late. Like they already said, the horse is already out the barn. They're already married, or they're already in the process of divorce, and so they need to know this stuff right now because they're doing it. So that's why, because of the urgency of it, and also the fact that so many of us are content doing it, even though we know we don't know nothing about it, because we want to be with somebody, we want to be intimate.
But here's my question, right? And related to that, Imam Naeem. And let us be honest. How people going to learn the rules of marriage in their environments when there's no structured understanding of the religious rules? I don't know how someone's going to know how to marry properly. From where? They've been told, open the Quran and Hadith and read it on your own. And that's good. What they're legal jurists or something? How are they going to get that? How are they going to come up with knowing the rules of marriage or divorce or anything else? A guy came to me yesterday. I want to share the story about that, right? He said, I want to know your dalil, right, for your belief. Because some people told him that I got a different belief from everybody else. Imam Amin making up his own religion. I don't know. My name is not Imam Genius. I'm Imam Foolish. Y'all got us mixed up, right? I can't make up my own religion. I'm not that smart, right? But anyway, they told him that. He's making up his own stuff. He got his own belief. We Aqua Sunnah, right?
Awudu billah.
Right. So he said, I need to know, the proof for your belief. So I said, you don't even know what a proof is. How I'm going to tell you a proof and you don't even know the basic stuff about Islam for me to even inform you what a proof is? Like, and I know he was just an honest question. That's what they told him to say. Like, give your dalil. You don't even know what dalil is. Even if you pronounce it right, you still don't know what it is, right? You don't know where dalil was come from. So I said, let me take you something. I took him just a walk around my library. I said, all this is dalil. And he looked, he was like, I said, now where do you want the dalil from? What type of dalil do you want? And I said, you've been to jail. Unfortunately, many of us had that experience. I said, you've been to jail. I said, listen, what they asking you to do is to be a lawyer, a jurist. And we Islamically don't have a third grade education. And you want us to do legal matters. That's just not going to happen. You understand what I'm saying? I said, think about it. That's like going into court. You got a murder case, right? You got a murder beef. And you go into court talking about all I need is the Constitution. And I don't need nothing else. And I'm going to fight my case with the Constitution. I don't need nothing else. Just give me the Constitution, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to ask everybody in here, what's going to happen to that person?
You mean the night on the question per se, Your Honor?
He's going to go in with the Constitution. That's it. This is my dalil. I ain't commit murder.
The judge is going to order a psych evaluation, and then after that, he go to jail for some other murders that he ain't do either.
But that's what we're doing religiously. Give me your dalil. I'm like, this is impossible. You can't do it. I mean, he got the picture, but that's what we're asking people to do. That's like, you don't know enough about the religion to do any of what you're talking about. But guess what? People believe that that's possible. And they're practicing their religion based on that. Right? Like, I have my dalil. Do know 2 hadith with an F, right? And he's trying to make judgments off that. Where's your dalil? You've never read like any book of hadith, the whole book. How you gonna make a judgment? I'm talking about one. I ain't talking about the tens and tens of books. I'm talking about one. That part that we gotta fix.
Hey, man, real quick, when he looked at all those books in your library and he was looking, you should have said, yeah, I wrote all these myself. Yeah, I made these up, man, here and there. I picked up,
Man,
You
I'm
should have
just
told
getting
him.
started.
You should have told him. See, Ahl Sunnah is 3: the Asharis, the Maturidis, and the Aminiyas.
Yeah, but and what I'm saying is that for us, that's important, right? It's become acceptable to just be ignorant of our deen, and I'm like, that's a shame, and we got to stop that, right? That's like right? It's just and I ain't talking about being scholarly. I'm talking about the basic stuff. Like, you getting married, it's an obligation for you to know the rules of marriage. You get so many people that get married and they don't know what happened. What happened? I don't know. What do you mean you don't know? You married? I don't know. Who was there? Some brothers. Ain't some brothers. You don't know nothing what happened. No, I don't. They just said I'm married.
That's what I'm talking about.
It was over the phone. I don't know who it was. They just said I was married.
And guess what? And someone told them that's valid. A brother called me one time. He's like, yo, Imam, I want to get married. I'm like, okay, you got to meet me in the masjid and learn the rules of marriage. He said, man, you always coming up with some new stuff.
The boy got his own religion.
I said, okay, you got to meet me in the masjid and we're going to go over the rules of marriage. He said, man, you always coming up with some new stuff. Since when we got to learn the rules of marriage? I said, bro, you can't get married and you don't know what you're doing. Oh, man, I'm just trying to complete half of my deed. I don't need all that. I said, oh, you just want to have some enjoyment. Well, rules is religious rules before enjoyment. I can't just...
See, you're always trying to get deep. You want to know the rules of stuff, man. Go just do it.
I just said, you always coming up with some new stuff.
Astaghfirullah.
But he went and someone else was going to get married. I said, how could you get married? Oh, man, people be tripping, man. I said, man, we got to stop this stuff, man. I'm sorry, y'all.
Why can't you marry me, Imam? I'm mu'min, man.
All right, that's okay, man. Hum to Allah. That's all right.
Oh, my goodness. That's what you Imams always got something new. Oh, my goodness.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
It's not funny, but sometimes, sister, she's right. It is sad, and that's why I mention it, learn the obligations. But some of this stuff, you can't be angry about it because it's a reality. You have to sometimes laugh to stop from crying. So I agree with you. It is sad. But what's sadder than that is that it's commonplace. And the one who speaks against it is like doing some major stuff against the system. Right? You got people who actually believe Allah is in heaven, or sitting on a throne, or settled upon the throne. That's sad. But it's people who actually believe that, and they're teaching people that, and people accepting it, and they spreading it all around. It's sad that a person doesn't follow qualified scholarship, but it's common, right? So when you mention it, it's true. Yeah, it's a sad state. But when you look at some of it's like almost unbelievable. And that's the astonishing thing that makes you laugh. And I don't mean it in a sense that it's accepted, but it's like, come on, this stuff is just unbelievable. But it's real. And if you were to cry and be sad over all these things, you might die of depression.
Man, y'all not gonna take away my joy, man. I'm gonna laugh sometime, man. I'm not letting y'all drive me crazy. I'm gonna laugh sometime, man.
As one of my elders say, I know it's crazy, but one day we're gonna all laugh about this.
All right, so we got any someone mentioned about the cover fee. Yeah. Now we got to up the ante because we gave you a show tonight, so y'all need to cover some of that. But are there any questions in the audience that we can start taking?
Yeah, go for it. We wanted to give everybody a break tonight, especially us, because sometimes topic heavy takes the how you say, the joy sometimes out of us getting together. Sometimes we just need to kick it and say what's on our mind and just, let it flow. It's cool.
Yeah, there's one question that, and her sister was asking about: do you still need a wali if you're an elder sister and being married before?
In the Hanafi school, you don't. In the Hanafi school, you don't. As for the other schools, yes. I hope I ain't speaking out of my Maliki.
Yes, you are correct.
And yeah, this is another advice since we on it. As sad as this the state of affairs is with respect to knowledge and knowing, obligatory knowledge. One of the things that Imam Amin always stresses is that we're learning the knowledge, so we can be able to teach people, so that all of you who attend regularly and taking notes, that you're able to teach people, that you're able to take someone and hold them by the hand and show them how to make wudu properly, and the A from Salat from A to Z, because many of you are going to have to take up that task, inshallah ta'ala, for some people that we're not going to be able to reach. And, we already have our hands full with a lot of things. So we need someone that's, that's going to step up and be like, okay, I'm going to teach someone that far the iron. I'm going to volunteer to teach someone that far the iron, go over my notes, just take one person. If it's, a child, a grandchild, a neighbor, one of the kids of the community, take them under your wing, inshallah, and give them the stuff that you're getting, inshallah.
Hey, can I have this opportunity? Because I made this boo-boo several times. And since I see one of our beloved brothers coming on, I should take this opportunity. That sometimes I know I can be straightforward and kind of blunt, and sometimes it can be taken wrong, right? And someone might get offended. If I offended you, please accept my apology. And don't stop coming thinking I have something in my heart against you. I really didn't even realize I offended you. Just sometimes I speak my mind. And sometimes that I always don't go over well. But if you get to know me, you'll know that it's nothing but mad love from my heart. Even the people I disagree with, I don't hate them. I just disagree with them. So I just wanted to get that out there because I got a call the other day and I'm glad they called me. And they said, I just wanted to clear the air with you, Imam. I said, there's nothing to clear. Ah, man, you misunderstood. I didn't mean it like that. So please, if some of you have been offended by me, accept my apology and you can contact me. I didn't mean to offend you if I did. That's not what I intended. I just wanted to get that out there.
Man, sometimes your ass need to be offended. Man up, man. Shoot. Stop having, you know what I mean?
Yeah, a lot of people can't handle us. They think we too rough.
Well,
we should go to Monk's Corner one day. I want to go visit that place. I've been hearing such about it. Maybe we got to arrange it, Abdul Rashid. I want to come there. Really, we should. Ask Sheikh Haroon, can we do a black round table from there? We should all go and visit. I would like to see that community. What was Sister Haja Miriam's question?
She had a question? I didn't see it.
If she can replace it, Dr. Sabir, we didn't see it. Imam Faheem is in control of the questions.
Sometimes you can offend some people by telling the truth. You know that, right?
Oh, yeah.
even if you don't know them.
Right.
Like
But,
nowadays, people so sensitive. You can tell the truth. It may not even apply to them. They just get offended. You don't even know them, don't know their name or anything, and they're personally offended by you. I had this happen to me. I'm like, man, I don't even know you, man.
oh yeah. So I could tell you. Remember, I was joking with and I don't think he mind because we had a talk. Remember, it was 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago. I hit our white brother up about the money. I was joking with him.
Yeah.
But he actually called me later. He was like, Imam. I was like, oh man, I was just messing with you, right? But he thought I was serious.
Did he come with the bread?
He don't got that kind of bread. I mean, like, I know that, right? But
You need to go get it. Even though you ain't joking, you need to go get it anyway.
You know, there's some white folks in harder conditions than some black folks. You know, you have some white folks that are. That's why you see them raiding the Capitol. Some of them are like You got some white folks that's doing real bad in America.
Yeah, a lot of them live around here, like in the Midwest, the Rust Belt. No, I'm serious.
Yeah, no, I'm serious.
We got some brothers from California. A brother from California moved out here and told me, and he told me, he said, I never seen white people so poor until I moved to Pittsburgh. He's from the West Coast.
Yeah.
Okay, we got some questions in there, Imam. Amin.
They want to know the Maliki fiqh. And I don't know if we need to keep talking about Maliki fiqh. Pretty soon it's going to be just one madhab. You know what I mean? Maliki.
Okay, one brother asked.
There are 4 valid madhab. Why is everything Maliki?
All right.
I think it is because they know that's one of the easiest madhabs, and they're looking for ruksas, right? With an S on it, right?
The whole madhab is a ruksa. Huh?
Yeah, guess what? I heard in the Maliki, you can wear pork shoes, right? I'm gonna be Maliki, right? You know, that's recommended, you know, right?
There's a brother says, can we have some good and inspirational stories on marriages within our communities, though? We hear a lot of how messed up things are out here as it is. What about the good that we do have? I know we got tomorrow night, we got a program with the Dope Muslim Woman podcast with Sister Sabria Mills. But some of her podcasts, she does have couples on there to tell their stories. But we got some good stories. You know, I know of a couple, and inshallah, maybe we'll, you know, one of these broadcasts we'll cover that.
Hey, Imam, Imam Naeem, can you do a separate class on marriage according to the Maliki school?
Yes, I could do that. I can give some time to organize it. I'll just probably take a section out of the Izziya or the Risala and do it from there, inshallah.
Okay, so Imam Naeem is going to, inshallah, arrange a Maliki marriage class so y'all can get some ruksas. Now, Imam, according to Imam Malik, I heard that, you know, they can, you know, get kind of wide in their range of opinions, you know, right? Shopping for fatwas. Nah, great.
Oh, we got another question. It says, if a couple gets married and they don't know the Islamic rules, does that make the marriage invalid, or can they learn as the marriage continues?
I mean, maybe their marriage is valid. We just got to learn and find out. Like, because there's a rule. The common person doesn't have a school of law, right? So they're going to follow the law, what is ever available to them from someone who gives them the legal judgment according to us. So long as it's valid, according to someone, it's valid. But we saying stop doing stuff you don't know is valid. That's another story. But it may be valid.
A lot of times people be looking for, like, I don't know, it's not necessarily the easiest way, but they be looking for like the borderline stuff. You know, you got the people that they don't want to do haram, but they want to be like real close to it. on the halal side, but just like real close to the haram. You know what I mean? They don't want to be in the. They don't want to drink. They don't want to get high, but they want to be at the bar, eating hot wings, right? I mean, I mean, just a lot of us, we have that. It's just this urge.
Using hot wings.
Like, you remember what was that? Remember that Muslim sister got kicked out of the bar in Atlantic City, the casino?
No, I ain't hear that.
Yeah, it was like maybe about 10 years ago. She got kicked out of Atlantic City because she was wearing her hijab.
Really?
Yeah, she got kicked out of the Atlantic City casino. No, it might have been that casino in Philly, I think. I forgot which one. It was one of the two. She was from Philly. She got kicked out because she was wearing her hijab. And she's in the casino, at the bar, where they serving food and stuff. And she was eating. So when the news came to her house, she had the going up. She had the Quran holder up and everything, like talking on the news. I like, subhanAllah, you got the real Islamic environment over there. But the news stories about you getting kicked out of a casino, the restaurant. Like, why are you there? SubhanAllah. But the point is, a lot of times, it's like it's an internal struggle. We want to do the halal, but we still got the love for the haram. So I'm gonna try to do this halal, but I want to do the halal in such a way that is real close to the haram. Right? I don't know if that makes sense, but I see it a lot.
Okay, you ready for the next question?
Go ahead.
It says, what's the rule if you were married before you found Islam? Is it possible to stay with your spouse after 25 years of marriage?
Is that a man asking that or a woman?
A woman's asking it.
There is a period before he has to embrace Islam. But but in these situations, there should be a lot of work done before you just tell people to get separated. Don't have relations, but sometimes you have kids, you know what I mean? So there should be a lot of work done prior to making such a decision. Let's say that. And I would work with your local person who's knowledgeable about the rules of the religion to do that. I wouldn't do that on my own. Like, I would not recommend someone say, okay, you got to just divorce. The divorce is going to happen anyway, but I'm talking about how you go about it before giving that person a chance to embrace Islam. Because you can ruin families like that. And you mess the whole objective. So I think that should be something that should be worked out, and it shouldn't be just a flat answer. But the rule is the marriage is invalid once the woman embraces Islam, if the man doesn't embrace Islam within the iddah.
So I guess, sister, if you have heard that, if this is your situation, or if you're asking for a friend, inshallah, maybe you can inbox us privately, particularly Imam Amin, and we can go over the particulars. All right, so the next question is
emphasis on particularly Imam Amin.
Yes, specifically.
Yeah, because all I'm gonna do is ask somebody else. Don't worry about it.
You're gonna ask somebody, not ask.
Right.
Ask. I'm gonna ask somebody. All right. The next one is this question tonight is what qualifies someone to become to give the khutbah or become a khatib. A khatib. Yeah, not the cook bar. We're given a khutbah and become the khatib, inshallah.
So long as they know the arkan and the integrals and the conditions, they fulfill them, and they avoid the invalidators according to one of the four schools, they know how to do it. That's it. That's all they need to know. What are the conditions? They fulfill all of the conditions for the speech and for the prayer. They know the integrals of the speech and the prayer, and they avoid the invalidators. It's valid. And anyone who can do that can give the speech and can lead the prayer, so long as they can do that. You don't have to be Shaykh al-Islam to do that.
Just make sure you talk about something relevant and not long-winded. I mean, one time I'll never forget, I went to a a khutbah in North Carolina, and the Imam was talking about his job. He worked for IBM. And that's all he was talking about, how long he worked there, how much he loved the job. And I'm sitting there listening like, what the hell is this, man? It almost made me want to feel like, man, I want to work for IBM. We got another question. Salam Ikwani. I guess that's, what's the hukum? If two believers want to get married, sister is a V, but the family isn't with marrying sister off to an AA brother. She's foreign. So I don't know what a V is.
That's a choice.
Does a V mean she's vegetarian? She's vegan?
Virgin.
Whoa, I thought it meant like vegan or something.
I mean, and it may not be. I mean, even though we talk about racism, everything ain't racism. Like, it may not be just because the person is an African American, and that may not be just it. He might want the best for his daughter, and they might not deem that person to be the best. It could be racism, but not necessarily. If you have a virgin daughter, you're not trying to give her to anybody, right? I mean, at least I would hope you're not going to do that, right? So a hukum, they have the right to deny someone. Just because you come up and say, Salam alaikum, I want your daughter. No, right? No, you can't have my daughter. Why should I give you my virgin daughter?
And plus, let's be real, man. They heard about us. You said AAs. They heard about us N's. They heard about us N's, man. That's why.
And now, if you some pious guy with a good job and good family and all that, and you're Deen and you're known, and then you say that, maybe we can have a discussion. And that may be the case. But just say I'm African American, that's why he didn't give me his virgin daughter. Nah, bro. I mean, that's not gonna fly, right? I mean, everything ain't racism. Everything ain't racism. Even though racism is real, but everything's not racism. Now, I know some people would love to hear that because they think everything I tie to racism.
Okay, so we just got a report. We raised $200 tonight. Okay. We're a little short on that paper. What's going on? So here's some more advice. Get that bread up. Get that
let's take care of this in 5 minutes. Because if we don't reach our goals, we're falling behind. We can't afford to fall behind. We got to go forward, right? So let's get 3 noble people out of all these people to give $100 a piece, lillahi ta'ala, and we finish with it, right? So we have 200. Let's get 3 people to give $100 and save everyone else the responsibility. So just 3 people. That should be easy. Don't tell me with all these people, we don't got 3 people that have $100 extra. And it saves everyone else for having to worry about it. We're done with it. Don't even have to talk about it. So who's going to volunteer? I'm going to play Imam Siraj Wahaj right now. He wouldn't mind me saying that, right? Brothers and sisters, $100. How many of you going to give 100? So one brother donated one. Allahu Akbar, takbir, Allahu Akbar. Can I get another one? Come on. We're trying to do something for these good brother imams.
Hey, I think we covered it, man, but I got a funny story, right?
We're at 300. Come on, brothers. Brothers and sisters, come on.
Do a virtual green wave, man. Everybody take what's the money in their pocket and dump it in the virtual bucket.
Who would lend these brother imams a friendly loan and it will get paid back in double? All right, we got another 100. See,
I got
a terrible fundraiser, right?
I got a funny story while we wait, man. This is my me and my cousin. We used to go to this when Farrakhan came to town, and one time we was in Washington D.C.
Oh, wait a minute, brother Tamir, this ain't a pledge, right? Is this a straight donation? You can count on it, no pledges.
No donation, man. Because this is the story I was going to tell. So my cousin,
brother
right?
Tamir, is that a coming? Is that a pledge or that's boom? It's done. Which one?
I was with my cousin, right? We was at one of these Farrakhan rallies, right? So here and there, and you know, who's
all right, so we got another 100. One more. Wait a minute. Hold on. I'm Imam Faheem, man. I'm on a roll here.
Man, hold up, man. Otis, man. No, go ahead.
So one more 100. Come on. I know we are good people. Let me use my Sheikh Waleed line. We're good people.
Good people. Salt of the earth.
Can I get one more? And we done. One more $100. As soon as I get in the house, inshallah.
We'll do it expeditiously.
You guys are too much.
In other words, hurry up, get in the house.
Hurry up, get in the house. Blow your cameras out, get in the house.
Story. The boss is kicking in.
Man, the street lights been went out, man. Get in the house, man. Yeah. So my story was we was at went to see Farrakhan in DC. So my cousin was down there. So we was hustling at that time. So one of those MGT girls was giving him the eye. So he was trying to impress her. So they, well, who's gonna be one of make a $500 pledge, right? So my cousin was like, yeah, I got it. He's smiling, winking at the girl, right? So then after it was over, they approached him. Like, yo, brother, you got that $500? He said, no, he said a pledge. I promised to give it. I don't got it right now. Oh, they was going to roll us up out of there, man. It was funny because the girl had his eyes, so he was trying, he was fraud. Oh, five, it's five, Yeah, that brother right there. Allahu Akbar. So he's smiling, winking at the girl. Then they rolled up on him afterwards. Like, yo, you got that $500? He said, no, I was just promising. No, I don't got it right now. They almost killed us in there, man.
Yeah, sometimes you gotta watch the pledges because back in the day when they used to do pledge forms, do they still do that? Pledge forms?
Yeah, they do it.
Yeah.
But
one brother.
That's all. That's the problem when they do that pledge stuff, because people may have the good intention, but then circumstances they don't have the money. So people be counting on that like it's real and it's not.
Right.
Even if the person had the good intention, but sometimes they just don't have the bread, and what they thought was coming never come.
Exactly, like this story I'm about to tell you. We got a pledge for my brother. This is a long time ago in New York, and the brother, I think the number was like 10,000. It was a big donation, and it was a young brother. So we tried to get some specifics on when and how often, whatever. He was like, I don't have any money now. I'm broke. I just started university. But inshallah, when I graduate, I intend to give you the money. We was like, all right, brother, Abdullah, may Allah reward you for your attention.
But see, that was the problem. Y'all was looking for specifics and not Pacifics.
I think we need.
You should have asked him for Atlantics.
Because she's too honest.
All right, alhamdulillah.
Hey, Farouk, I gotta keep the receipts because you gotta watch these jokers.
Yeah, watch them ninjas, man. Boy, it's crazy. Yeah, alhamdulillah.
So, may Allah reward you all for your support and efforts. And I tell you what, though, one of the things on a serious note that we've been consistently showing week after week what we can do as a people when we stick together. And all of us really should, feel honored that Allah favored us with sticking together, right? And, supporting one another, sharing with one another, laying it all out in public. And we need that. Many people need what we're doing. They might not say nothing. They might not comment, but they're listening, they're benefiting, and all the imams will tell you how many times we come across people, hey, you the imam from the Black Imams Roundtable, man, I watch you every week, and we never see them. But they're in it, and they're benefiting, So keep up the good work. May Allah reward you all, and we thank you tremendously for your support, for your attendance, for your dua, for all of that. Really, 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 that's something that we are extremely grateful for, and never forget that. As the Prophet ﷺ mentioned, whoever hasn't thanked the people has not thanked Allah. Without y'all, we wouldn't be doing what we do. I don't think we would be sitting here this long talking to ourselves.
Nah, because I'm already past my bedtime anyway, So this is, really
Tax plus tax.
Yeah. So this because I love you, brothers and sisters, for Allah who's subhanahu wa ta'ala. So, I'll sacrifice the sleep.
Well, don't worry. I ain't getting no sleep now anymore. That's shot for probably the next year.
Alhamdulillah. You got it. Yeah, I remember them sleepless nights, man, and days, and you got to sleep when they sleep, and when they up, you got to sleep, and when they up, you up. There's just no pattern.
I remember them too, not too long ago. Remember I went to Gambia a couple months ago?
Yeah.
My twins were just born.
MashaAllah.
Remember I was talking about I ain't had no Wi-Fi? I was telling my wife, why my Wi-Fi ain't set up, whatever. She said, I just had baby. I was like, man, I asked you to get the Wi-Fi set up way before you had the baby. She was like, man, listen, that's your Wi-Fi right there. Wi and Fi.
Hey, Imam Faheem, I gotta ask you. You're a hip hop dude. I gotta ask you a question.
I'm B-boy scientific, electro funk. You know what I mean? What's up?
Barakallahu bikum Hajj Tamir. May Allah tabarak wa ta'ala reward you, raise your rank, and make you under the ban of Sayyidina Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam on the day of judgment. Say Amin. Come on and do it.
Amin.
Right?
Allahumma Amin.
Now, I got a thing, right? So did you see what Kanye West said he's going to do?
Yeah, give Beans 50 million plus 5% of the
yeah. I think he just might do something like that, even by accident.
I mean, he can afford it.
That's what I'm saying. I think you're the hip hop guy. So do you think that's forthcoming or somewhere near it?
Man, if it's not, man, I'll be at his door every day, man. Nigga, you was online talking about you give me 50 million. Let's go. What you waiting for? It ain't nothing but a transfer. And maybe he's trying to make things right, but then it would be smart because, especially given that five, because
no, but it did. I'm saying, I know for sure. Sometimes them stars, they do stuff like that.
Yeah, it's smart because people talking about.
I'll give you an example to show you that they do it. What's the comedian, the little guy?
It's like three of them jokers.
The little one. Cat Williams, that's his name.
Cat Williams or Kevin Hart.
He gave him either a Lamborghini or a Ferrari, one of them. I think it was a Lamborghini. He gave it to him. So it does happen. I know that for sure. He gave him a Lamborghini or a Ferrari, one of them fast cars.
Yeah, it would be nice.
This is what I'm doing for you.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I seen a meme just to be. It was smart.
I was thinking somebody getting ready to come up. Does he get that kind of bread? He may throw it to some of the. He's Muslim. You never know.
Yeah. So somebody get Beans on the horn. Tell him, man, we got a versus thing for him. You know what I mean? And then we see where it goes.
That's my hip hop plug. I saw that in my feed.
Hey, I seen this meme though, man. You might want to use this, Imam. It was a father. He told his kids to draw him taking a nap.
Say what again?
It's had a picture.
I saw that one.
They had three small kids. The dad said, "Draw me while I'm taking a nap." So he in the bed under the covers, and they got their papers. So it's gonna take them a while. So he gonna get his nap off, and they stand right there.
Yeah, you need to be grateful, man, because with them twins, I was in Gambia looking like with red eyes and everything. One, they both go to sleep, then one wake up. You get him to go to sleep, then his brother wake up.
Wow, subhanallah. MashaAllah.
Yeah, alhamdulillah. But it's a pleasure. Right? Alhamdulillah. Okay, where are we at? We got 15 minutes. Any questions that we left off?
Sister she addressed this to Imam Naeem. It was kind of like a comment. Let me put it on there. Or you want me to just read it? It says, on a serious note, this morning a family was on CNN because a man in the family was killed at the Travis Scott show. When they showed a family picture in the home, there was a big Allah sign on the wall. They were crying and very sad. And I was sad that Muslims spent that money with the non-believers and died in that state. It was very serious and sad. Yeah.
That's the 9-year-old or another one?
No, I think he was like 20-something. That was immigrant brother, one of the people that died.
The guy who was doing the concert is a rapper.
Yeah, what's the song? What's this big song he had?
I never heard of him.
Yeah, he had a big song a couple years ago.
He's black?
Yeah, it's a black kid.
Oh, didn't his name sound white? What's his name?
Travis Scott.
Oh, that's a black guy.
Yeah. He had a song a couple years ago. It was a big song, man. I can't remember what it was. I mean, but that stuff is not hip hop to me anyway. But I can't hate on it.
Oh, that's the rap. You don't understand what they're saying?
Yeah, you understand, but it's the new stuff,
Oh, okay.
It's not that boom boom bap. You know what I mean? Somebody here now, everybody's acting like they, preoccupied with fart eye, like they don't know the song. Come on, man. Y'all know what song that was.
Allah.
Now Travis Scott is Majhul. Yeah, mashallah. Yeah, but that was definitely sad because the report on the concert, it said that after the people, it was like 8 people that passed, they said he went on to still perform for like a whole nother half an hour. So yeah, that's crazy, and I just read something today that they got like 18 lawsuits, him and Drake. I don't know if he was under Drake or something, or I think he was with one of the Kardashians, so that that means he got somebody sucked some blood out of him or something, man. I don't know.
Oh, so that's why everybody's bringing up when Puffy did that thing at City College back in the day and people got stampeded because of that.
Oh, I don't know.
Like, I think my wife just mentioned it in the comments. When I read that comment, I don't know why it said Travis Scott, but in my mind said Tavis Smiley. I'm like, I was confused about the context of the comment. I'm like,
oh yeah.
I didn't know what was going on.
Sister Kim said, y'all better watch your mouth. That's her cousin.
Who's her cousin?
And her husband do that stuff. So y'all better watch your mouth. Travis Scott. That's not his name. So if y'all want to get broke up, y'all better drop this conversation and put some respect on that name.
Or better ask Issa.
Master Poe is going to put it on you, grasshoppers.
You better ask Issa.
Yeah, you better ask Issa just in case you think when Kim says stop and you ain't get the point, ask Issa what it feel like. Master Poe hit you one of those quick chops. Pow! That's the end of you.
Yeah.
And 10 where we apologize for even getting close to upsetting your wife.
He's gonna wear you out, beat you down so quick, and then talk to you with that that soft, smooth voice and explain to you why and how he beat you up.
So nobody remembers this big song that Travis Scott had.
I didn't want to do that to you, but I told you don't be talking about my wife's cousin.
Okay.
Subhanallah.
I'm trying to figure out what's that big song he had, man. Nobody knows.
I can't. We on the Deen. We ain't listening to no music, brother.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
Quran and Sunnah. That's it, brother.
Yeah, I'm the only one pulling the bit out here, man.
People bid out doing all that other stuff.
Is that the song? It's called Sicko Mode. Yeah. Oh, he did say it. It was a catchy tune.
Just ask Sheikh Google. He knows.
Yeah, it was a catchy tune. He was Sicko Mode. Okay.
Dennis Rodman said, and this is something serious though. Serious. All these guys, we need to be giving da'wah to them. Do you know if one of them became a pious Muslim, they could change the situation? Just one of them in a lot of the communities in the inner cities. Just one of them. If one of them became a pious Muslim, like what they could do in da'wah and doing like subhanallah. So we need to really think about ways to reach them, you know, right? You never know. One of them, because we act like you don't need money, and that's not true. And we all know it. You want to do da'wah? I got to share.
We got to put a singing group together, man, to go inside. And
I won't say which sheikh, but me and a particular sheikh went to visit a Muslim leader. We were together, right? I'm not going to say what sheikh it was. So the leader, he was the leader of an organization, Muslim organization. He says to that sheikh, me and the sheikh is together. He says he wanted to meet the sheikh. So I took him to meet the sheikh. I took the sheikh to meet him, right? So we all sitting down, us three. And the leader, he tells the sheikh, I want to tell you what da'wah needs. Da'wah. They were talking about the da'wah. And the sheikh said to him, da'wah needs a salary. He said, I'll tell you what da'wah needs. Da'wah needs a salary. He said, because if you don't have a salary for da'wah, da'wah ain't going to last too long, right? And in America, it's true. You have to work. And if you don't have sustainability, your da'wah ain't going so far. And by the way, there's a guy we could take great lessons from, right? And he did a great job. Sheikh Faraz Rabbani. Sheikh Faraz Rabbani is the best. He's the Jay-Z of Islamic online. I don't know. Like, this guy, he understood that. He told me one time, he said, listen, you got to put out a lot of content and you got to find a way to do it for free so that you can continue to do it, because people don't like to pay. But if you can serve them, they'll give you. That was the advice he told me. And that's what he did. And I watched, he took that thing to a whole nother level. He's all over the world with his stuff in different languages and everything. He understood this. And he does a great job, a needed job, right? And I think we need to benefit and learn from that, especially because his work really don't reach our communities. It reaches other communities, and a few of us join in. But we need that same recipe in our communities, right? Seriously. And if you just follow his work, this guy, man, from where he came from and where he built that thing to, may Allah reward him.
I mean,
now maybe he'll send a donation for that plug.
yeah.
Tell you, we're closing out. We're running out of gas. So you never know who's listening, though. So a lot of times, maybe one of them would run across the Black Imams Roundtable and be like, you know what? I'm going to become a Muslim. And it's because of your support that we keep going and we keep doing what we're doing. You know, people hear us.
Then we need to get that Muslim list real quick. Shout them out real quick. Shout out to Freeway. Shout out to Beans. Shout out to Dave Chappelle. Shout out to Steven Jackson. Shout out to Mahmoud Abdul Rauf. Shout out to yeah.
But that's a serious, for someone who's out there, you know, you need to give da'wah to those people. Don't just look at them like, oh man, they off their deen, they ain't Muslim. That nah. Give da'wah, man. You don't know what they'll become tomorrow, right? Reach out. Try some way to find a connection and get them the deen. And even if it ain't about money, but these people influence people.
Yep.
I was watching an interview. I think it was yesterday or day. I don't know when the interview was. Who's the girl that got the baby by Lil Wayne? She's like a first baby's mom or something, I think. She must be famous because she was on the Breakfast Club.
Lauren London?
Nah, I don't think that was her name. What's her name? Nivea? I don't know. Whoever she was, I think he got a bunch of children, but I think she was the first baby's mom. Baby mama, whatever, you know.
I know one of them writes books or something. I know he got a bunch of baby moms.
Maybe
I
it's
don't know their
Nivea
name.
because 2 people said that. Toya, I think that was her name. Is Toya and Nivea the same person?
Toya Wright.
Yeah, Toya Wright. Yeah, that was the girl. She was on the Breakfast Club. I don't know if that was the other day or it was old. I don't know. It came across my feed, and she was talking about. Lil Wayne, and he's like she got Wayne's World. And she was talking about what he does, how much a good dude he is, but he's just in his own world, like kind of, you know, different from what we're used to. She said all he likes is video games and skateboarding and his music, right? But imagine, and he has like just, I saw he had 109 Billboard records or albums or whatever he had going on, right? But my point is that he got a bunch of white kids following him because he said there was no such thing as racism, right? And she was trying to explain why to him, the world he lives in his mind. Imagine he reached all those, he became a Muslim and he started reaching all those skateboarders and all those people who, you're talking about millions of people that would embrace or learn about Islam through one conversion. We got to think like that, right? I mean, we got to broaden our spectrum of understanding. You don't know who Allah is going to use to guide people, right? And we need to start thinking outside the box, right? But if we come to them acting like we don't have no identification with the culture we live in, then we are our own Lil Wayne in our own world that doesn't reflect reality, right? You know, we got to think about that.
Shout out to Swiss Beats and Little Mo too.
And it will be maybe one of them who would embrace Islam, who would become Ahl Sunnah and solve a lot of the things we've been working on for years, not through their money, but through their popularity, right? So they would give da'wah, and there's a young girl, she's a rapper. I forget her name. She's from Philly. They said, if I'm not exaggerating, they said this young girl gave about 400 shahadas, and she's Ahl Sunnah. She's a rapper. She gave about 400 shahadas. She would do a concert and be given da'wah afterwards, and people would take their shahada. I forget the sister's name. It's a young girl. I mean, she was at class. Remember we had in Philly? She was in that session. When we did the last program at Masjid Allah.
Yeah.
What's her name? Kalani or something like that?
Something like that. She's from Philly. She's a rapper.
I know you're talking about.
But
her name is something like that. I may be pronouncing it wrong.
Yeah.
Shout out to Benny Pass.
Kiani. I think, I don't, Kilani. They said she gave about 400 shahadas.
SubhanAllah.
So I'm just saying, you never know who's like, and she's actively in da'wah, right? That's what she do. But she'll be able to do more than any of us, no matter how much knowledge we got, because she can relate to the youth. She can relate to those people. So while we're giving these long lectures, she just do one rap and boom, you know? So we need to think about that. Tell you, if that's it, we
Somebody said we need you here, Imam. I mean, where's here?
Where's here? Abdul Hakim, where's here? T-Pain. Who's T-Pain? That's a rapper?
There's a singer boy with the
Oh, Harrisburg. Oh, Pennsylvania. Imam Naeem's right next to Harrisburg. Ain't you close to Harrisburg, right?
Harrisburg closer to Philly.
Oh yeah, it is.
Like 5-6 hours from Philly, or 4 hours, 3 hours.
Nah, it's like an hour and a half, 2 hours from Philly.
Oh,
probably like 3 hours from here, something like that.
Oh, so Imam Faheem is very close.
I ain't close to no Harrisburg.
Inshallah. Oh, I know who you are. Hey, guess what? See this guy, Abdul Hakim, Imam Naeem? He's Shafi'i now. He crossed over from that Maliki stuff. He's Shafi'i. He said to me, I saw him at Al-Maqasid. He said, I'm Shafi'i now. I said, MashaAllah.
Gang, gang.
Alhamdulillah, it's all Ahl Sunnah. Alhamdulillah.
He said, yeah, man, I'm done with the Maliki cats.
He said dropped his flag on the Malikis.
Oh, man. It's all love. MashaAllah. All right, how are we going to end this? Who's going to make the not me. I'm
Imam Faheem.
Young Scrap down there, man.
Hey, Imam Naeem, you hear me say he still got love for you. He just ain't sticking with your minhaj. Right. I got love for you, but I'm with the others.
Yeah.
Right. But where I saw him at, I think it might be related to all that bread flowing in them Shafi'i circles.
Shafi'i's got bread.
Right? It looked nice with all his African garbs, but over there, them dudes got coffee and lights and cameras. Nah, I'm joking.
And before we close, tomorrow, inshallah, we would like to see our 3453 family on the Dope Muslim Women's Podcast. I think it's tomorrow at 8:30. Is that the time? We'd like to see our family with their supporters. We're going to have a nice discussion about rebuilding trust between men and women. Inshallah, we hope that you all can support us over there. And then don't forget, on Sunday, our 3453 show is the different world to our Cosby show.
I mean, yeah.
All right, so please tune in to that, inshallah, and support our Gigi, our sister Fatima, and a couple of us will probably be on the panel talking again, inshallah. So that's on Sundays at 4 p.m. Eastern time.
Hey, please, and let me hey, Samira, where's the link for the show?
Samira, where's the link? You talking about that Shafi bread, man? Where's the link for the show?
Where's the thing? Oh,
He funny, right? Sophia, coffee, and cameras.
Hey, I'm just being honest. Hey, right? You ever go look at those circles, those vicars with the Malikis, right? And go look at those with the Shafis. It's a distinct difference, right? I mean, it just has a whole different flavor. You come through, nice service, nice camera, nice everything. No, I'm just messing with you, Sayyid. The 3453 show, all jokes aside, that is a very important endeavor. The one who initiated that endeavor is our beloved elder and sister Fatima Burke. She lives in Canada. She's over 70 years old. And she has a heart of gold, really. She's a beautiful sister. And her husband is a beautiful elder. And they're really concerned with a da'wah and helping the youth. And she's down. So it means a lot when we support. Sometimes it ain't about to bring joy to the heart of a believer is huge, right? So sometimes just the little thing of just attending and showing your support means the world. She's up every single morning in class. She's over 70 years old. Every morning she's in class, participating, sharing notes, doing whatever she got to do. And we don't know what this family, this brotherhood, this sisterhood does for people. And whoever, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, whoever doesn't have reverence for our elders and mercy to our youth is not from us, right? These are our elders. And some of us, we better pray that we reach 70. And if we reach 70, that we're still interested in da'wah and deen. That's a testament in itself that she's over 70 and still active in calling to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala within her means, right? We don't know if we're going to get there, that we're still going to have Islam if we get there. May Allah give us husnul khatimah, give us a good ending. But really, really, really show our support. It doesn't take nothing but to go, even for 5 minutes, and like and share and support the effort. With a good intention, you're going to be rewarded for that, right? And it would mean a lot to our elder sister. And I shouldn't say elderly. Our elder sister, it would mean a lot. Really, really, really. And engage. She's looking for people to come in and tell their stories and give their experiences. So she's open. She wants to share. And this ain't about us and them. This is about us together, building a strong family that supports for others, because on this social media, people need this stuff, right? Some people, they don't have, this is all they have in terms of communication. This is where they get their joy. This is where they get to know people. They're not judged. They feel free. That stuff is important, man. Sometimes it's the thing that's going to save someone's Islam. So don't underestimate it. Oh, it ain't that important. Yeah, you count. It means a lot. And Allah knows best. So I just wanted to because they don't allow me on. You know, it's just these two guys moonlighting. But at least I still support. See, even though they don't let me on, I still support.
I just want to add to what you're saying. They're really looking for young people too. You know, us older people with gray in our beards, you know, we just keeping a seat warm for you young people. That's really your platform. You know, our elder Gigi, which stands for Gangster Granny, if y'all didn't know. You know, she set it up, but it's really she really wants y'all to take control and run it, because we hear ourselves talk all the time. We want to know from your perspective, you know, what you think, and you know, we don't want to tell you what to think. We want to know what you think, you know. So, and that's one of the things that's really been kind of like, you know, frustrating for them, is because our young people don't seem like they want to be involved, and it's really for them, you know. That's all.
Okay, Imam and the Boom Bap, you want to take us home?
Yeah, alhamdulillah. Oh Allah, we ask you by your grace and by your bounty and by the rank of your Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam that you accept this endeavor of ours, and that we ask that you make it beneficial for all those who have tuned in and all those who will listen later. We ask.
Can we take this question as an important question? I think we all should feed into this if we can.
Man, I was in the middle of my thumb, man. Yeah, I mean, I was in the middle of my.
Good question. Good question. I mean, I wouldn't want to. We'll forget it by next week.
Okay. Are there specific panels set up for fiqh rulings that will deal uniquely with the situation of blacks in America, or is this something still being built?
None that I know of. I don't know.
I know some Pacific ones, but I'm on the Atlantic side. No, I'm just joking.
The thought has been going around, and it has been going around, but there are several problems with this concern. In order to have these councils, and it's been talked about, and I've been in those conversations, I'm going to say this because I think this is a very important question. So what they're trying to do is have fiqh council, specifically in America, with black leaders, quote unquote scholars, that deal with the situation of our people. Several problems confront them. The biggest problem is funding, right? The biggest problem is funding. Why? Because most of those people who would like to engage in that are supported by non-blacks, which means that they're not free to really speak on black issues as they need to be spoke upon, because it would directly affect their livelihood. This is real stuff. I'm giving you behind the scenes stuff. So in order to ever see that, we need to start supporting our own. And we got to stop allowing our own black leaders to be supported by others, because when they're supported by others solely, they're going to have to promote the agenda of others. And even if they at heart want to do one thing, they're not in a position to do that. And I know many of us will quickly say, oh man, it shouldn't be about money. But money's real. I don't see none of us talking about not going to work, right? I don't know none of us who say I'm not working. I'm just sit home and make dua. I don't know no one who acts like that. And if someone acts like that, they're not following the sunnah of Sayyidina Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So that's a real situation. So the biggest issue is that. Then there is a second issue, is which I still think related to the first issue, is they're not empowered to believe that their opinions or understanding of the Deen really has value. These are serious issues. The only ones who have heart, like I'm talking about, are the Wahhabis. Those black Wahhabi Imams, they do that stuff. They don't care. They just do it, right? But they also have access to Saudi Arabia too, right? So it's because they're doing their bidding. But for us as Sunnis, we have to do that. We're grassroots. If we don't support each other, you'll never see that. It won't happen. So that's my that's a serious thing. Let me ask y'all something quickly. I know it's overtime, but this is a serious question. How do y'all feel about what I just said? What's your honest opinion? Please, I would like to hear your honest opinion about what I just mentioned. It's interesting. We don't get to talk. I wish we could listen to some of each other. What's your thoughts about that, what I just said? Feel free, fire away. What do you think about that, Imam Faheem, Imam Naeem, what I just mentioned? Are you aware? I mean, I know y'all wasn't in the meetings, but I've been in those meetings, so I know what they're like, and I've been in those discussions. What's your thoughts about that?
I believe, like you said, that we have to, like, in a similar way how we came together with the Black Imams Roundtable, I think that that same blueprint, that same template can be used to create and at least begin, a Black American fit council, or whatever the title would be, to deal specifically, with our issues, and also to address, to make it a platform that will support itself, beginning first with donations and then flipping those donations into business endeavors that can support that council, and so that those imams and scholars and leaders who are on that council can begin to do the work. Like, I think what we did here with the Black Imams Roundtable, the same thing could be done for other purposes, like that purpose. But it has to be us. We can't be waiting for someone else to do it, or waiting for some big donation to kick it off. We have to start with nothing, like you just said. We have to start with whatever we have and build.
What about you, Imam?
I concur.
I want to share something with you. I know there are Black leaders, Imams, learned people who studied, who want to do it, but they won't step out there without your support. And they're not going to step out there first, and then you say, I'm going to come support later. They're not doing that. I'm telling you. I'll let you into something. If we had the money, we could put that together. I know who would do it. I know what would take to get them to do it. I just don't have the money. For sure, I know exactly who to get. I know who want to do it. I know who has the qualifications to do it. I know who have the connections to do it, but I don't have the money to do it. That's just real. So one of the things I would like to do, and we talk about it all the time, with the money y'all give, we talk about the 500 as a bare minimum, right? But if we ever get a budget, and we're building it, we're getting close, we can actually do things like that. right? Easily. It ain't even a second thought. I know how easy it is if we had the money. And I don't blame those, and I don't look at the people who, because I know them, I don't look at them as bad. I understand, man, this is hard. You go study 12 years, 20 years, 10 years, and then you come back here, you learn, you got chains of narration, you did all that, and you come back here and you can't take care of your family. Man, that's a serious challenge, right? It's easy for the one who's sitting back playing Monday morning quarterback. You ain't on the field. You ain't taking no hits. Oh, you should have threw the ball. You should have held it a little bit longer. Yeah, you didn't get hit, right? It's like in the Masjid. I want to share something, and all the Imams can say this. I know we overtime, but this is important. Right now, we need, I'm talking just Masjid Muhammad. Sorry, this is a shameless plug. I need at least $150,000 to fix our roof properly, right? I raised a lot of money, but I never raised the money we need. So I got to patch and fix and patch. Y'all know this stuff, right? We never get what we need. We get a certain point and then you figure the rest out, right? That's just how it is, right? So we had a heavy, we live right by the ocean. So we had a heavy rain. I think it was last week. Was that last week or 2 weeks ago? Last week. I mean, it was wind all over the place. So y'all been to Masjid Muhammad, you see all that water around. So when that wind come whipping through, it just ripped the whole side of the building off, right? Like just ripped it. Like all of that shingles and all that stuff is floating in the air, right? And so the wires pop. You see the wires, everything, the electrical just all over the place, right? So I drive up and I'm looking at this, right? And I'm saying, now, normally I would just go get my ladder, go do whatever, go do it. I say, you know what? I'm going to see how long this stay like this before someone just say something. Forget about doing it. I just want somebody to say something. Good luck, Imam. I mean, that's not going to happen. Right? I said that was last week or 2 weeks ago. Guess what? No one has said one word. Not one word. It's obvious. It's like right there. I left it. I didn't mess with it. Just so you can't miss it. It's wires hanging and everything. But that's us. Right? We'll just watch. Somebody else going to do it. And it'll never get done like that. Right? Get a hint, Mutti, get a hint. Right, like stuff. It'll never get done. But then you know what somebody else say? Why the Imam didn't do that? Wait a minute. While they at work, while they go do whatever they got to do, right? Let him figure it out. What do you mean let him figure it out? No one says that, but that's how they act. Let him figure out. So I'm saying this to say what? Well, I said I don't feel bad about those people who are like that because they'll do the same thing to them. Get you out here. Yeah, that's right, brother. Go ahead, black man. Yeah. Then when the guy who's supporting you say, oh, I don't want you talking about that. He take his support away and your brothers be like, whoa, man, you should have chilled, man. You be going too hard, Ak. You should have been chilling, man. Yeah, that's us. That's real stuff. So I don't blame them. So let us start doing stuff before we ask people to make sacrifices. Let us make some sacrifice. We're not talking about you. And we wasn't talking about the roof. Sister Rashida, you know you're my favorite Rashida. I'm talking about in general. That's the women. The women always work. We ain't talking about the women. We're talking about the men. The women always do the work. If the women would get up there and do it themselves, we ain't talking about them. Right? So I'm saying that to say, don't look bad at those who say, oh, they're about money. Nah, it ain't all about money. They got children, they got, they have to be cautious because we will let them down. We shouldn't do that, but we will. So after what it said, where's the fundraiser bucket? Excuse me, could you put, if y'all don't mind, I just told you all these problems I got over my neck. So, that's called a shame. Hey, Samira, what you call that? A shameless plug or a shameful plug? Which one is it?
Shameless plug, meaning ain't no shame in plugging your stuff.
No, but serious, forget the roof is not to be forgotten, but I would rather get the money to have stipends, since we can't have salaries, for people who can do the work we need. Stipends. Seriously. Like, if we could pay y'all imams, just to do more work, if we could pay y'all $400 a week, wouldn't that do some good for you? Be honest.
Yeah.
Right? You could use it, right? So if you can use it, you can use it. All of us could use it. So what do you think about those who got the skill sets to do what we're talking about? Don't you think they could use it too? It's real, right? So I'm just giving you the idea of what we're trying to do, right? Because you can talk about all that other stuff you want. If you ain't willing to put some commitment behind all that talk, it don't mean much, right? It's going to stay the same. And we do need this issue taken care of. So keep donating, keep supporting. And the more we support, the more we'll get close to that because it's needed, right? All those issues of marriage, we need people who know fiqh rulings and how to deal with this stuff. And they need to be really full-time doing that because that's research. Because these people ain't just saying, here's my dalil. These are people who are doing research, like paralegals, that stuff, or like lawyers. It's a lot of work. People think you just sit around and make a judgment. That's not how it works. You got to read books and fatwas and all this stuff. It's a lot of work. Hours and hours and hours, sometimes days of research for one mas'ala, for one question.
A lot of times people don't know how complicated their issues are.
Yeah. And because we're so used to people just telling you anything and we accept anything, we don't realize what really goes into giving a legal judgment. So that's just my shameless plug, because I would like to see this, inshallah. We need it, at least before we die, that it's available for the next generation, because I don't see us going too far without it. If we don't have people that are Islamically sound in their education, know how to research, know how to do this work, we in trouble. Because guess what? The qualified people we have who really have that ability, they're working for the immigrant communities and solving their issues, but they're getting paid. And I don't need to mention no names. Some of you already know some people that's their lot. They don't even talk to us. I mean, and in general, they ain't dealing with our issues. They on college campuses and universities and big organizations, alphabet organizations, as Sheikh Abdul Karim called it. They on the show, and the show pay. I'm telling you, the time I spend on here, I go to one of those lectures. I spend maybe 1 hour, and I can make the money we do in 20 minutes in what we do all day here. We spend 2-3 hours. I go give a 20-minute lecture and get this money. No, I'm serious. I'm not being like sarcastic. 20 minutes. And Imam Naeem seen us do it, right or wrong. This is nothing to what is given to those other things. So what I'm saying, that doesn't belittle what I'm doing. It just shows when we're asking somebody to do something, that's a big sacrifice, right? So don't think it's just saying, oh, it's light. La, la, la. Some people, their life is that. That's how they take care of their family. That's how they pay their bills. That's how they take their kids to school. And it's something we shouldn't take lightly. If y'all got my point. All right, I think I beat that horse, right? Are y'all following me? Are y'all understand what I'm saying? Or how I say, is it clear?
It is not clear. We don't understand. We do not follow.
I know so many people who don't work as hard as the black imam, and they get way more money than the black imam. They don't even do 10% of what the black imam does in the masjid. Not 10%. And they get 100% more than the black imam gets.
1,000% more.
Yeah. Suffice it to say, not even 10% of the black imams have a livable wage from their community. They don't have a livable wage. Right? So this is something that we need to improve on. And only we can do it. So if we want that, we got to do something ourselves. Yeah, that's right, Farouk. Don't add that part. And what the black imam is expected to deal with. I heard somebody say, I ain't telling them imams nothing. Good, right? Right? One less thing I got to worry about. You ain't hurting my feelings. I'm going to tell the imam, I ain't telling him nothing. I won't tell none of them imams my business. Good. That's one less stress. I can keep some of my hair. I keep my kufi on so you don't see what happens.
Allow me to keep husnul done.
Yeah, subhanAllah. All right. All right, Imam, I'm sorry for cutting you off. I just had to, that was a very important question. And let's make dua for Sister Miriam Rose so she become a big professional, and then she'll carry the weight of da'wah on her own.
Amin. Ya Rab. Amin. All right, so inshallah, again, we thank you all for tuning in. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to accept this effort from us. Subhanaka Allahumma wa bihamdika ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. Al-Fatiha.
May Allah reward you all. Barakallahu bikum. We'll see you tomorrow at 6:30 for, what's it called? Oh, the importance of 3453 code. We're finishing that up. And post-Fajr reflections, 4:30 or 5:30, Imam Naeem? What's the class?
5:30.
5:30, Umdatul Bayan, right? That's what you're doing?
Yeah.
I got that plug in, I know, right? Imam Faheem, do you have anything that we should share quickly before we come out here?
No, I don't have anything.
Okay. May Allah reward y'all. Barakallahu bikum. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.